The demon king rallied his soldiers and stormed out to meet the heavenly host. But the 9 luminous stars swept down like a wave of celestial fury, pinning the demons at the iron plate bridge. Not one could advance. War drums thundered across the mountain, while heavenly banners snapped in a bitter wind that carried the scent of thunder and the unmistakable promise of approaching ruin. Just as the din reached its peak, the great sage himself appeared. "Clear the road," he roared, and whipped out his iron staff. It swelled in his grip to the thickness of a rice bowl and a length of 12 feet. He threw his weight into a sweeping arc and charged. The 9 stars scattered before him like leaves in a gale, unable to withstand the force of his blow. The 9 stars regrouped and planted their formation firm. "You reckless, death-blind stable keeper," they cried. "You stole the immortal peaches. You drained the heavenly wine. You wrecked the peach banquet. You looted Laozi's golden elixirs, and you smuggled imperial wine down here for your own decadent pleasure. Crime upon crime, piling sky high. Do you truly not know the depth of your guilt?" The great sage laughed, a bright, reckless bark of a laugh that echoed across the ridges. "Every one of those things I did do. I confess it freely. But tell me, what are you going to do about it?" The 9 stars answered that they came by the Jade Emperor's golden decree to subdue him, and bade him surrender before his followers paid the price in blood. Wukong's laughter died. His golden eyes blazed. "You hairy little gods, what real power do you have that you dare spit such threats? Don't run away. Have a taste of my staff." The 9 stars surged forward, but the Monkey King did not flinch. He swung his golden staff in great whistling arcs, left and right, beating them down until every star tottered away, exhausted and broken. They stumbled back to the command tent and fell before Li Jing, the pagoda-bearing heavenly king. "That Monkey King is fearsomely valiant," they gasped. "We could not stand against him. We are routed at Li Jing's Zhao Diktanat." He immediately summoned the 4 great heavenly kings and the 28 constellations, marshaling the full might of heaven's army to march out and crush the rebellion at its root. Wukong showed no fear. He called forth the one-horned demon king, the 72 cave demon kings, and his 4 sturdy generals, and drew up his battle lines outside the cave mouth. What followed was a clash so terrible it would rattle the bones of anyone who witnessed it. A maelstrom of steel and fury beneath the roiling clouds of Flower Fruit Mountain. A savage wind moaned across the ridge. Banners blazed with color on one side, halberds glittered on the other. Helmets caught the sun like silver temple bells. Armor gleamed in layered rows like frozen cliffs. Great blades flashed like lightning through clouds. White-tipped spears pierced the mist, and bronze swords stood thick as trees in a forest, bristling with cold and deadly intent. Curved bows and heavy crossbows knocked eagle-feathered shafts. Short staves and serpent-headed spears flashed among the ranks. And through it all, the great sage's wish-granting staff whirled, sweeping left and right, fighting the gods of heaven themselves. The sky emptied of birds. Tigers and wolves fled the mountain. Sand and stone exploded upward, blotting out the sky until the whole world turned to darkness. They had arrayed their lines at dawn. The slaughter ground on without pause until the sun sank behind the western ridges. By nightfall, the one-horned demon king and all 72 cave demon kings have been dragged down and seized by the heavenly host. Only the 4 generals and the monkey clan survived, hidden deep in the roots of the water curtain cave beneath the roaring waterfall. But the great sage stood unbroken. With a single staff, he held off the 4 heavenly kings, Li Jing and Prince Neza, all of them battling in the air above the mountain. The combat raged on until Wukong saw the sky darkening. Then he plucked a fistful of hairs from his body, crammed them in his mouth, chewed them to pieces, and spat them out into the howling wind. "Change!" he bellowed, and the hares exploded into 1,000 miniature great sages, everyone wielding a golden staff, everyone aflame with the same wild fury. They swarmed Neza and overwhelmed the 5 heavenly kings, driving the celestial army back in disarray. The sky rained monkeys in iron. Heaven's finest warriors broke and fled before the impossible tide of a single monkey's boundless wrath. Victorious at last, Wukong gathered his hares and strode home. At the iron plate bridge, his 4 generals knelt with the monkey host behind them. The crowd wept 3 great sobs, then burst into 3 roaring laughs. "You see me and weep, then laugh," said Wukong. "Why?" The generals explained. They wept for the captured demon kings and laughed because their lord returned without a scratch. Wukong shrugged. "Victory and defeat are the common coin of war. The ancients said, 'Kill 10,000, lose 3,000. Those they captured were tigers, leopards, wolves, badgers, and foxes, beasts of the mountain. Not a single one of my own kind was harmed. Why grieve? Eat well, sleep soundly, and rest. At dawn I will unleash a great power and avenge our allies." The 4 generals and the monkeys passed around bowls of coconut wine, drank their fill, and slept. Meanwhile, the 4 heavenly kings gathered their forces, tallied their spoils, captured tigers, lions, wolves, and foxes, but not one single monkey, and set up a great encampment. They posted sentries, rang bells, and called the watch, sealing Flower Fruit Mountain under a net of heaven's own making, waiting for dawn. Lanterns burned through the night around the besieged mountain. Every pass was watched, every shadow challenged. The demon monkey's chaos had shaken heaven and earth, and now the celestial net drew tight. But Wukong slept peacefully, dreaming of tomorrow's great feast.